Hello and welcome to PM Personality Profile. My name is Nana Sakwa, and you can tell from my excitement. As a journalist, you say, I've got a scoop, and this is one of those days. Now, International Women's Day is on the 8th of March. So, as you can see, we've dedicated a lot of our platform, especially the PM series, for women to also, get this stage and voice out their concerns and celebrate their successes. Last week we spoke to one such woman, and this week, in 5 years, in 4.5 years, she's going to be 100. Isn't that scary? In 4.5 years, she's going to be 100. But not just maybe, she's still practicing and advising as a midwife. Now that is a hero by all standards. And so today I am here to talk to Mary Opoku Agyeman, Madam Mary Opoku Agyeman, midwife extraordinaire. I'm sure by now you're all eager to find out, 95, can she walk, can she talk, let alone deliver babies? Yes, she can do all that. Auntie Mary, good morning and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, Auntie Mary, for the start, we want to go back and see how life was 95 years ago. Some of us, most of the viewers today will be wondering, wow, 95 years ago, Ghana didn't have independence. How was life then, 95 years ago? I mean, were there normal schools that you can attend like today's schools, or you had to be taught at home?
It's true. When we were delivered, 1918, my father was a tailor. And when some of the pupils went to school with, you know what you call collar?
Yes, you tie.
We were going to school in well-sewn dresses because my father was a tailor.
So back then, your dad abandoned?
Yeah, that's it. Then that's it. You could put on khaki uniform where others just the collar around their necks to go to school. We were putting on our khaki uniform, which were sewn by our father.
Wow. So then your father then was literate, had been to school?
Really? He was trained by the missionaries.
Okay.
And they even had the aim for him to be a teacher. Mm-hmm. And he was sent to Abitifi. But one thing that my father couldn't bear was cold weather. So when he went to Abitifi, he told the missionaries, please send me to another station because I can't just bear this cold at Abitifi. And the missionaries didn't agree with my father, so she didn't go in for teacher training and came back home.
Because of the weather.
Because of the weather.
Abitifi is quite cold because of where it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so, not training as a teacher, what did he train as? So he became the tailor then, or?
Me?
No, your father.
Yes, he was. So when he came, he became a tailor.
Mm-hmm.
He became an author. He became a musician who played wonderfully on the organ. And very good farmer too.
So an author, which means obviously he wrote some books.
Yeah. I wonder. All the books that he wrote were in vernacular.
Mm-hmm.
Then Unyame Mamadiebi, that was sort of an artisan.
Mm-hmm.
And Jakututu, how Chebi got to that place. He has that book there. I had a copy. I can't find where it is now. And he wrote Christopher Tai, the persecution of Chebi Christian. I have a copy with me now here. So I can't remember all of them.
No, I can imagine. But the history of how Chebi got to where it is, do you remember it? The history of how Chebi became Chebi.
Well, what my father wrote about was that the man who started Chebi was a brother to the chief at Kumehu. They were brothers. We don't know what happened between him and his brother, but he had to leave that place really very, very angry. So he wanted to be so many miles away from his brother. So he traveled down to Abuakwa line. At first he went to a course now, what was called as Pano. Have you heard of the name before?
Yeah, I heard Pano, yes.
And he went to the Odikro, said, please, I am a hunter, and I want a place to hunt. But, you know, can you give me a land where I can hunt and trade with the result of my hunting? And the Pano chief said, oh, when you go down there, you will come to a river. Don't touch it. Don't go to that, but go beyond the river. Then you can put up a village anywhere that you choose. So that man was a Jakututu, came straight to the land, the post. I wonder if you know Nyediasa. Have you heard of it before?
I've heard of it, but I don't know.
There were 3 trees. And it was that place that this stranger from Kumehu built his village. And he was hunting monkeys and those with black kind of cover. So he was hunting them, and he just wanted the meat. So he dried the skin, sold that separately, and sold the meat as well. So he realized that the beasts were now getting to recognize him. So this beast has recognized me, then I must do something. So the skin, he sold a hat and a note. So when he gone to the forest to hunt, he put on the hat and the shirt. And then the animals couldn't recognize him. They thought it was one of them. So now some people got to know how he was, thriving for killing and selling all this. And they were living at their homes. So one by one, they said, "Me call Aja Chibirie Ekura." Aja Chibirie, which means somebody has a black hat. Chibirie Chetuntum. That's what the name of Chibirie Chetuntum. And she went, whoever wanted to come, you can build your village, your hut here, and he settled there. And so they kept coming until it was
now a big town became.
And that was Chebirie Chetum. That's what my father wrote about. It wasn't Kibi, it was Chebirie Chetuntum.
The black hat. That was history for you. But now let's talk about your secondary school days. So where did you do secondary school? I mean, at the time, did you college? College. Where did you go to attend college?
I wasn't a very healthy child. I had asthma. So I didn't go to school until I was 10 years. So I went to class 1, but I was very, very clever. So instead of going to class 2, I was jumped to class 3. Yeah. And after class 3, I had to go to a boarding school. My father sent an application to Ho boarding school, Agogo boarding school, and Krobo boarding school. And my father said, "Now I'll send you to Agogo because there, those there are being trained by German ladies, and I want you to be trained by a German lady. They are, strict.
Very disciplined and strict.
You see now. So I went to Agogo Girls' School 4 and 5.
I see.
Then when I finished the 5th, this standard 5, I didn't like Agogo all that much. So I told my father I would like to go to Krobo Girls' School. And so when my application and my papers were sent to Krobo Girls' School, they accepted me. and I went to Krobo Girls School on the hill of Krobo Odumase. And I had a bonus because I could learn Ga and Krobo. I can speak like any Krobo girl.
I see. So by this time, had Ghana gotten independence, or still there was no independence there?
You know what?
Had Ghana gotten independence when you were in
No.
No.
I was just a young, 10 years old.
I see.
And 11, 12,
15.
It wasn't, no. So I went to Krobo Girls School and I finished 5 and 6. 4 and 5, 6 and 7 at Krobo Girls School.
Yes.
And then the teacher said, "Oh, Maria," that's how my father called me anyway. "Maria, we would like you to send to Aburi to be trained as a teacher." So I went to Aburi Teacher Training College for 3 years. And I was trained as a teacher there. And I taught 2 years at Aburi. And then I decided I wanted to go to the Midwifery Training College school. Why? Because my mother was a traditional midwife. And she had delivered so many people. She delivered 9 of us, all alone, all by herself.
Whoa.
Because he knew when labor pain started, and when they had the pains, he just went to her room, spread the bed, sat on it, and delivered. And then, after birthing the baby, he put you there and go to start whatever he wanted to do.
That's a strong woman.
So she delivered me alone. What was fun was it? He went to our cemetery on that Saturday to clean her spot. The cemetery was, to be cleaned by the women in this. So he was there with another woman whom he had been delivering her with her babies. She was also pregnant. So he said, "Let's go. When he finished, we shall go to the bush to collect some firewood, so that when we deliver the first week, you can have somebody who will just come and get some hot water for us until we were a week old." So the two of them decided. And my mother, who is just a stone throw from Brim River,
Yes.
he was the last house to Brim, and the other one went to her home. So when my mother was preparing to cook her breakfast, then he started feeling the pain. So he just left the cooking utensil and went to her room, prepared her bed, and delivered me there. And then she sent to my uncle to come and bring, what the old women used to shave their shins, they call it razor. To come and separate the cord for her. And my uncle came and shaved the cord. They don't ligature, they don't separate the cord before the placenta is born. They wait until the placenta is born before they separate the cord. So my uncle came when I was still lying there, wrapped in water and blood, and the placenta was just there. And my uncle just separated the cord. If the placenta is in and you separate the cord, none of them will bleed. But if the placenta is in the womb and you separate the cord, both the mother and the baby will bleed. See?
So that was old folks.
So he did that. And after he had finished, he laid me, he bathed me and laid me, and then she came to finish her cooking. And then that woman came and said, "Oh, but why are you so late? I thought I was, why haven't you prepared your bread?" I said, go to the room, you see something. She went and there I was. Oh. So she went by, said, I went to the forest again, I'm going home. And my mother delivered her of that baby.
I see.
See. And why I went is, I wanted to learn something that would be more scientific so that I could put my mother in, a sort of, how do I term it, scientific way of treating the newborn infant and their mother. That's what my main aim.
Wow.
Why I went to the Midwifery Training College after teaching for 5 years on the teaching field.
Now, what you learned those days and today, are there any differences, or it's still the same old?
What I learned?
Yeah, your midwifery you learned in those days, and midwifery today in 2014. Is it the same, or has it changed?
Well, for the mother to bear down and push the baby out, it's just the same. If the mother doesn't bear down and push hard, the head of the baby will not come out. And if the head doesn't come out, you can't deliver the rest of the body of the child. Mm-hmm. So in that case, I think it's just the same, whether scientific or not.
We'll go back. So when you finished midwifery, what was your first health post?
My first health post was in Kwabing. Mm-hmm. That was the first station that I started my midwifery. And the reason was that my uncle, one of my uncles was at Kwabing. I said, oh, they want a raw doctor for. And when they move us to Kwabing, so that they will come to Kwabing. And so my uncle to Kwabing. Mm-hmm. And it was there that I started my midwifery practice.
I know you probably might have gone through, but your first independent delivery. I mean, was it scary when you think that, oh my God, it's just me and this woman and the baby coming? Were you confident, or well, it's one of those things?
One what?
Your first patient that you had to handle as a midwife. Is it a scary experience, knowing that, look, I am really responsible for this woman and her child?
Yes, because you've already been trained at the college. Mm-hmm. How to be responsible for the baby that is coming. How to see and to be careful and to get the baby out. And when you get the baby out, what you should do in order to get the baby to breathe and to cry. And then you have a nice baby. All these were taught at the college. Mm-hmm. So I had learned that. And so I wanted to put my mother on that line too. So that when the baby is born, Mommy, I taught her how to ligature the cord, to separate the cord, and when the cord is separated, wrap the baby and put it there before you deliver the placenta.
So basically, you went back and taught your mom some
Yeah, any time I was off from 10 days off, I went home, and what I learned there, I taught my mother. So I got her a bowl, kidney bowl. Mama, you keep the scissors here. Don't separate the cord with a razor again. You keep the scissors in this mixture. Mm-hmm. And before you separate the cord, you see this thread? Separate this and that. And in between, use this scissor to separate the cord.
Well, hold on there. I'm going to take it over because this is getting exciting. So, which means while she was practicing, Mom also was back in Chibi, also delivering babies. We're going to come back right after the break. Okay, folks, so this is getting exciting, right? Because Auntie Mary now has gone to school. She's now become a professional midwife. So she's come home and she's telling Mom, who is a traditional midwife, some of the tricks of the trade. Use your scissors, use your kidney bowl, use sanitizers, and make basically your birthing place more hygiene. But didn't Mom tell you that, look, you're too known. I've been delivering babies all along this way, and I even delivered you, so why are you now coming to bring me these things?
I told her that time is past. I want to teach you what I've learned. Mm-hmm. That is better than what you have been practicing. Your mother was also traditional. It's gone. And you will stop that before you go. So I'm going to teach you this. So learn from me. And when you do this, you'll have your children. When they are born, they won't still get into the bleeding, the liquor until the placenta comes. You'll have the baby wrapped, and the baby will feel warm. There will be no problem. You put the baby somewhere that will be warm, and then you attend the baby because the placenta has some minutes before they come out. And if the minutes are there, you just put your hand there and expel it, and they will come.
So, I mean, I know you said it, but again, before they wait for the placenta to come before you separate the placenta from the baby. That was the old traditional way.
The old traditional, they will wait until the baby is born, and very often the mother who came to labor brought only one cloth, and the cloth, part of it is wet, and here is lying in blood, and the baby will be lying in blood waiting the placenta is born. Nothing to wrap the baby, you see. So it had an effect on the children. Sometimes they make them asphyxiated, and they can't breathe well, and the color start to change into blue. And then you know something wrong is happening to the baby. And you, midwife, must be very, very careful so that the pink or the blue color will not take the whole of the... So we are taught all these.
But did Mom eventually agree to your new techniques?
Oh, yes.
Oh.
He had to. Because I was a trained. Out of all... Well, my brother was trained a teacher too. But I was a trained teacher before, so he knew that I had been trained by Germans. So he put some sort of price on what I told them.
Okay.
Told her.
So, was she doing it for a fee? I mean, like within her locality. What was your mama called then? Anyway.
So what?
Your mom. What was she called?
My mother.
Your mother. What was her name?
Jane Chirewa.
Jane Chirewa. But the locals. What do the locals call her? Her friends. Mami Chirewa.
Oh, they call her Awoni. Awoni. Even now, somebody names a child behind and says Awoni.
Awoni.
That's all.
So now, if the locals were going to Awoni, did they say, I'm going to give birth, I'm going to Awoni. How much would Awoni charge? Will she charge them or was he?
Oh, during the time of Awoni's charge, 4 shillings. 4.
Okay.
3 and 9.
Uh-huh.
And or nothing at all.
Okay.
And so once she died, everybody was so taken aback. She didn't charge much. And yet the next morning, she would go to the house and buy the baby for the mother. And all that you could do
she was
for
in house calls?
Yeah. All that you do for the mother to be okay, she will do it before she comes home.
I see.
She was, I don't say, midwife and a doctor at the same time.
I see. Doing house calls, I'm impressed. So how long have you been a midwife then?
From 1950, when I started my own practice, 1950.
Wow. From
until now. Sometimes when I travel, I have some midwife to take care of me for some few minutes, months, then I come back.
So 1950 you had your own practice?
Yeah.
But how long have you been a midwife as in profession?
As a profession, if I'm at the time that I was trained,
yes.
I trained for 3 years. And I worked in the hospital for 2 years. And then I resigned, and I worked with a medical officer, Dr. Barima, for 1 year. All that time I wasn't having a baby. And then, 50, I started my practice for my own. See, so I was having all this, I'm starting from all these doctors. Dr. Webster was a gynecologist.
Did you ever get posting to Accra, or were you always outside of Accra?
So what?
Well, did you ever get posting to Accra, or were your postings outside of Accra?
No, I worked at Kwabing, Tafu, Chibi, Medina.
I see.
And from Medina, I came to Dansoma.
So 1950 to now is 64 years.
Mm-hmm.
64 years of practice. That is a long time.
Yeah. I don't. From 1970 up to 1973 till now. How many years?
73 to now is what, 40.
I've been
41
here.
years.
I've been here.
Wow. Now I'm going to go back to courtship. And being a trained teacher, being a midwife at the time. I mean, you are a rabbi by all standards.
Mm-hmm.
So how did your husband approach you? Where did you meet your husband?
And did he?
Where did you meet your husband? That's the whole story.
You see now, when I went to Kwabing, the husband was a pharmacist.
Okay.
He had finished his training, and he had been posted at Abomusu. You know the Abomusu?
That's where I come from.
Ayo. And he was there before I came to Kwabing.
Okay.
And the chief, Nana Kwabing, anyway.
Okay.
He had a big upstairs building, and he gave us all the second floor. Mm-hmm. So I was on there, and he was on the other one.
Okay.
And another man, Nana Dakom, he gave us the first floor of the building to do our clinic. Examination.
So you work together?
Yeah. They were working together, and we lived in the home together. So you can imagine.
I can imagine, yes. Bumping into each other on the corridor all the time.
And we're working the same field, medical field. Mm-hmm. So what prevented us from getting together? Nothing.
What was the procedure then? So what, he sends his parents to go and see your parents and...
Oh yes, he did all that. He did all that. That's our wedding.
Yeah, wedding pictures which will be flashed on the screen for you to see. So how many children did you get?
I had 6, but I've lost. It's strange. The third girl and the third boy. I lost the child. She had typhoid, and we're treating her for malaria. The time we recognized, it was too late. So I lost that girl. And the third boy was, I don't know what to say about, it was 23 years when he too left. So I have now 4 left. And 2, they were all there. One of them, the trained midwife, nurse midwife, is there, but he said he has gone to Domi. So I'm here again.
I mean, you were now a celebrated midwife, whether you like it or not. Through your hard work, you've now become a celebrated midwife. So something coming from you would hold a lot of water. Patients today are complaining the relationship, they don't get that personal touch from the medical staff these days. I mean, you are old school. What can you...
If I say anything about that, don't you think they will have...
You say, I'll protect you.
You see, private practitioner is more careful than a government worker. Because if I lose today and tomorrow, I won't have any more patients. If you are a private midwife and you have a mother dies, the first one, the second one, nobody will come to your clinic again. So if you are private, you must be doubly careful and be very, very keen with your patients. You treat them well enough to make them feel that they are comfortable when they are with you. Really, everywhere I went, when I left Medina to come. They were still coming to me and say, oh no, it's too, you pay such heavy amount of transport before you come here and go, please, there are midwives at Medina. Don't waste time to come here. I stopped them. Most of them were coming. It all depends on how you treat them.
Personal relationship.
Yeah. If you treat them well, she will go and, oh, Mama, no. It's so good. And she'll bring, I think we have many, well, shall I say Nigerian, foreign women coming because somebody came and said, oh, that woman died. And they have been coming.
I see.
But they are not as many as they were because of the NPH, national birth, which is very good for us here. I don't say anything against it at all. But he who can afford will be accepted.
Okay. Now, when we came this morning, obviously I saw some medical school staff who obviously come to visit you, whether for advice or whatever. Normally, what would they come and do, the medical school people?
The what?
The medical staff that we met this morning. What do they come to do with you?
Well, I don't know whether they were instructed by the tutors, but this is not. We have heard about how many groups, more than 5 or 6 groups, who have been coming. Sometimes they come 4 to 6 to 2, and they ask of me, as you know, our practice and what you do this and how we do that, and the rest of them, I don't know what they are going to do. And I was telling them what, all of you groups that have been, nobody has even sent either a commentary sitting to make it feel that we are doing better or not. Why haven't you? And that's, oh, Grandma, when you go this time, we shall just, okay, it's up to you. Not, you are about the 5th group or so. And nobody, when they go, they finish. They don't even remember Nyamiadom maternity home again.
Now we're going to go to Nyamiadom and find out why you chose Nyamiadom for the title.
Oh, but what could I have done without the grace of the Lord? What could I have done? I didn't start it, and I can't say I'm giving this. I'm doing what I've been told. But how do you know that this is going to take effect or not? By the grace of God, what we were taught and what we have been using, it does the work for us. If there's any complaint by a patient, oh, a dry defied, I've got to put an end to it. For her, it will be good for the other. You see? So you must learn from the patient, more of them. There are many of them who don't even want to take the medicine, so they have to complain. I tell them, if you are not going to take the medicine, don't come to me. Don't come to me because your blood is 8% and you don't want to take the blood tonic. How are you going to increase the quantity of your blood? So if you are not going to take it, you go to Kolebu and leave me alone. And if they want to go, oh, Grandma, then they go on.
Ma, how can I come here and not talk about Presby? I said, how can I come and visit you and not talk about Presby? Because I know you're part of the Women's Fellowship, and I see a lot of citation here from the Presbyterian Church of Ghana.
Well, I was a lay preacher. From Chebi, everywhere that I went, I preached. Because one minister that was at Chebi is dead. He said, but you can preach. Well, I'm saying, Debbie, Debbie. So you can do it. And he put me on it and gave me handbooks. And from there on, I've been preaching everywhere I went. So here, I've been preaching until I couldn't touch
the legs gave up on you.
Again. And I stayed biblical place. I have all of them in my notebooks here. But now the girls are so busy on trading that they don't want to learn. So they don't want me to teach them the biblical place again. They're all there with me. So that's why.
So, aside you being a midwife within the community, so Sundays they come to church and then they see you preaching there as well.
Oh, yeah.
It must be reassuring for your patients, you know. It must be very comforting for a patient that you come there and you go to church. Oh, Madam Midwife.
I can't praise myself, but even if it's at all, if you meet a member of Emmanuel Presbyterian Church, perhaps he can give you something about it, but I can't praise myself.
Well,
but I stopped preaching when I had this spinal problem, which I can't stand for a long time, and I can't walk. Until the doctor said I should have an operation. I said, I was 80 years there. So I'm going to have it. Somebody will get spinal injection and cripple me. I'm not going to do that. I said, oh, then go, because there will be a time when you'll not be able to walk. This is the time.
No, but you've done really, really well. So December this year, then you're going to be 96, and you will be. I know you will be. December.
If by the grace of God, He walks me into next year, December, I shall be 96.
I think what amazes people is, like in 4 years' time, Ma, you're going to be 100 years old.
Huh?
In 4 years' time, you're going to be 100 years old. And
I don't know.
you must have seen changes. Now, since Independence Day is just round the corner, the struggles for independence, you must have seen some part of it.
The thing were two, my sister and myself. I can say that my sister was a politician. Mm-hmm. He went with Bozia, he went to Susu, he went to some of them. I was not a politician. So, I must say that it was only one time that some women groups at Chebi said they wanted me to be their secretary. I said, no, I have no time. My patient, I must watch my patient. Said, and you go to this place for meeting, because when you go there, you'll have your krakums and all the rest of it, and you go there for, I wouldn't have to ask, I will have the meetings in your own office. Okay. So they were there just for 3 weeks. And the coup.
That was the 66.
That was the coup. That was when? When was the first coup?
66.
So, and I was put into police. Yeah. So I was a secretary to the Women Fellowship. This women.
Political
so I was arrested.
Wow.
But then the call came across. They need to release Mrs. Opoku Agyeman at once. And I was taken out of the prison. I was carried on the shoulder to my home. That was the end of it.
I see. But this women's group, was it anti-Nkrumah women's group, or was it a pro-Nkrumah?
That group, that was CPP Foley.
Oh, okay. So that was a pro-Nkrumah women's week.
I don't want to say this, but what would you like me to say about that?
No, because I was wondering that because you are from Chebi, you be a more anti-CPP group rather than a pro-CPP group.
Chebi was more
the JB Dankwa
opposition
tradition.
Yeah, and we're there. My cousins and they were all of them had to go to Togo because they had been planning to come and collect them to some prison. But when those came, they had all gone.
I see.
But they knew I was the community life. They couldn't. How they carried me from the prison to my quarters ought to have been there.
Ma, hold on, we're going to take a break here. When we come back, within all these years, Mama's work, we want to find out if she's delivered any babies that are famous than you and I know. Life and Times of Mary Opoku Agyeman. midwife extraordinaire. Just before the break, I just wanted to find out, with all these years that she's worked, she must have delivered a baby that's grown to become famous than you and I know. Ma, you know, I know it's very difficult to recollect with the number of babies you have delivered. I mean, hundreds of people you brought into this life. But Ma, is there anybody that you have delivered that you think, well, he grew up to become a good citizen and we all know?
Uh-huh. Well, those that I've delivered are my nephew and my niece.
Yeah, of course, they're all citizens.
And they are all lawyers.
Any name? Give me a name that you think.
Asante and Koko Asante.
Now that's the scoop. Nana Asante Bedietu, as in the lawyer that we all know.
And Koko too is a lawyer.
Okay.
He's in America.
I see. Right, that must be, for you, it must be like living your dream. You know that, you know, all these guys, you know, thanks to me, somehow, through God, you know, they have been able to live their lives.
What did I do?
I mean, it must be reassuring, or it must be refreshing for you to be able to deliver all these babies safely and they grow up to become good citizens. Mm-hmm. For you as a human being, it must be a fulfilling life for you.
What else can I say? If I say that I'll be praising myself, but I'm not praising myself.
No, I'm saying it must be fulfilling for you to know that you played a part.
What I say is this. I can't give any praise to anybody but God. Because Monday morning is our clinic day. We don't start clinic before we pray for about half a minute, half an hour before we start. Thursday is my clinic day. We pray for about half an hour before we start our clinic. And when somebody comes to deliver, or someone, they come to call me, I go, the one who delivered, I went there, was there, and I prayed for her before she went to deliver. So, I don't do without prayer.
That's good.
See, and I feel that might be, I don't say that I'm a pious. No, not at all.
No,
everybody has his or her own, dark points. But I know it's because of the Lord knows that I don't rely on anybody but Him alone.
And say amen to that. Now, because that we are in International Women's Week, I want to find out from you, women today and women 95 or probably 70 years ago, do you find that Awoni was more disadvantaged as a woman then than she would have been today? Is there any difference?
Would have
been Awoni's life that she led. She was a midwife in
my
your mother. Do you think those days women were sort of oppressed? Or
they cut from what they ate more green leaves than
meat.
That's it. Cooking oil and tolo beef and chinalo beef and the rest of it. You go to my mother, contaminate, trawa, edria, and he do that. Yesterday he had a palm nut soup, and he had some oil from the palm nut. That's what they're going to put on it. And they ate that more than all this mat.
But I want to find out that were women oppressed in those days?
Oh no, oppressed by her husband or what?
Maybe
or
husbands, maybe society.
No.
Was she free to go to the farm, and was she free to do what she wanted to do?
Yes, but if you don't go to the farm, how are you going to eat? You can't go to the market and buy your plantain and your mancani and you want to cultivate it in a farm. And then Monday, no. Tuesday, Wednesday you go to the farm. Thursday, Friday, Saturday you go to the farm. And you bring some food stuff and keep that. We have a small, kitchen where we keep all our food stuff. Hey, brother Nasa, you must go to farm. And even behind our our houses. We have brode and you can go there and get
you see,
our
Ma, I mean, because I saw you at the Women's Summit. That was a couple of days ago. You were at the Women's Summit at the State House. I saw you at the Women's Summit at the State House.
That is,
yeah. And what I'm saying is that the average perception is that women are being oppressed and that we need to give women equal rights. And I want to find out that when you were growing, did women have equal opportunity as men when you were growing up?
Who also have equal opportunity? You want me to say that there are groups who have and there are groups who don't. Even it doesn't matter how clever they are. It is patent. It doesn't matter how clever you are or how able you can do it. You are not there, you won't have it. Don't you know that? I don't want to say this. For that next time, hey, mommy, back, let's go. It's patent. How can a patient look at Sora, a very clever lawyer? What happens to him? Because he's there. But if you're there, no.
I see. So
it's not that this thing, but it is patent.
I see. Ma, do you then think that maybe our over-westernization is what is causing all these problems?
Can I criticize the government? No way.
Of course you can criticize the government.
No way. No way.
You can be objective.
In my poor, humble home, quiet.
Okay, so now, Ma, the thing I want to know before we end is that are you training new midwives so that they will take over?
The midwives are being trained at Kolebu. There are some who have, I don't know whether nursing training colleges.
Okay, who's going to take over your midwifery?
That's what I'm looking someone to one for.
And that's a free advert.
I wish I could get a retired midwife who can take care of me, because those trained nurses and midwives, they are good anyway, but
I like the but.
You see, we were trained for 3 continuous years, but now when you go to nursing 2 years or so and go to midwifery, how many years? 1.5. It's one of them.
3 years. Oh, I see.
You see, it's my granddaughter.
Well, she can take over then.
Ask her.
We're going to ask granddaughter if she's going to take over.
We were trained for 3 continuous years. And we worked there, and the ladies were, our sisters, they were all Scottish or
Irish,
German or something. They were so keen on us. We had exam monthly, fortnightly, 6 months, 1 year, the whole exams.
I see.
See? And so we were trained. Actually, we were trained. And after your training, the last 6 months, you are left to go to Choco to deliver 50 cases. You alone. We were given bicycles. We had delivery bags fixed on our back. You know, I could ride a bicycle.
I see.
So you ride a bicycle and go to Choco. The relative came, I call it a card here, it's done, gone. So take the card.
Look at it.
It's Choco WC. And you go and pick the card, go into your cycle, you put your bag on your back, and you go to Choco to look at what WC.
Find the patient.
To find the patient.
Ma, it's been wonderful talking to you. And thank you very, 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 very much. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. And I pray that God gives you your century in good health. And we'll come back to celebrate and cut your cake with you. And thank you very much for your blessing. Well, folks, I told you, this was a scoop. Can you imagine in 4.5 years' time, she's going to be 100.
Have I not wasted your time?
What more can I say? Until next week that I come with you with a new personality, have a brilliant week.